Have you ever noticed how sometimes the things that hurt us the most are the same things we keep running back to? Like we already know they're bad for us, but somehow they feel familiar, almost comforting? It sounds strange, but if you really look at your habits, your relationships, your choices, your emotional patterns, you'll probably find at least one example where pain has started to feel like home. Think about it. Why do some people keep going back to the same toxic partner, even though every friend is shouting, "Please stop"? Why do we scroll social media knowing it will tank our mood? Why do we procrastinate, stress, panic, suffer, and then repeat the entire cycle as if we're subscribed to an emotional disaster plan? It's not because we enjoy suffering. It's because our brains have a weird addiction to the familiar. Your brain is like that one friend who refuses to try anything new. You suggest a new restaurant and they're like, no, let's go to the old one again. The one we've eaten at 47 times, the one we're tired of, but for some reason can't let go. That's your mind. It loves old patterns, even if those patterns hurt. If you grew up around chaos, stress, shouting, emotional distance, or unpredictability, your brain learned this is normal. And once something becomes normal, it also becomes safe, even if it's actually terrible for you. So later in life, when someone treats you kindly, or when life becomes calm, or when peace finally enters the room, your brain doesn't relax. It panics. It's like, why is everything so quiet? Where is the drama? Where is the stress? Why does kindness feel suspicious? And then instead of embracing peace, you run back to the familiar pain. Not because you genuinely want to, but because your brain recognizes it. Pain becomes comfort simply because it's predictable. A predictable problem feels easier to handle than an unfamiliar solution. That's why some people feel uncomfortable when someone praises them. Kindness feels foreign, but criticism, oh, they can take that with zero hesitation because that's the language they grew up hearing. They can handle 10 insults like a champion, but one compliment sends them into emotional shock. The same thing happens in relationships. You might meet someone stable and consistent, someone who actually texts back on time and treats you well, and your brain goes, nope. Too healthy, too peaceful, too normal. Let's go back to the one who gives mixed signals and emotional chaos, because that's what feels like love, right? And even though you logically know better, emotionally you're wired to repeat what is familiar. Humans aren't addicted to pain. We're addicted to pattern. If you're used to anxiety, calmness feels suspicious. If you're used to abandonment, consistency feels fake. If you're used to chaos, stability feels boring. Your nervous system isn't broken. It's just loyal to old childhood programs. And here's the surprising part. Healing doesn't feel good at first. It feels uncomfortable because you're stepping out of a place your body has lived in for years. Imagine switching from a terrible old mattress you've slept on forever to a new soft one. You'd think your body would love it, right? But no. The first few nights, your back is confused, your neck is confused, your whole existence is confused. That's exactly what emotional healing feels like. It's not painful because it's wrong. It's painful because it's new. And humans naturally resist new things, even when they're healthier. Pain becomes identity. You start thinking, this is just who I am. I always attract the wrong people. My life is always chaotic. People always leave. And your brain turns those thoughts into rules, even though they're just old experiences repeated so many times that they feel like. And once something feels like truth, we cling to it. Choosing joy feels risky when you're used to disappointment. Choosing peace feels dangerous when you're used to chaos. Choosing stability feels scary when you're used to emotional storms. So you stay where it hurts, not because you deserve pain, but because you understand. Humans fear what they don't understand, even when it's good for them. But the beautiful thing is, just like your brain learned pain, it can learn peace. Every time you choose rest instead of stress, your brain rewires. Every time you walk away from someone who disrespects you, your brain rewires. Every time you choose calm over chaos, your brain rewires. Slowly, the version of you that accepted the bare minimum begins to fade. The version that confused drama with love, that believed pain was normal, that stayed in situations that drained them, that version becomes small, and a new version begins to grow. A version that feels safe with kindness, that doesn't panic when things go right, that doesn't run from healthy people, that understands peace isn't boring, it's healing. Pain feels like comfort only because it was once the only comfort you had, but you're not stuck there forever. You can outgrow it. You can unlearn the old patterns. You can teach your brain that safety's allowed, that love doesn't have to hurt, that peace doesn't mean danger, that stability doesn't mean boredom, that happiness doesn't mean something bad is coming next. Healing starts the moment you stop choosing familiarity over freedom. Pain might feel like comfort, but comfort isn't supposed to hurt. Peace might feel strange at first, but it's where you'll finally breathe. And you deserve that breath more than you've ever realized.